Well, I bought a Seagull engine again at the weekend. Swore I would never do it again, but I have done, with the full intentions of breaking it up and selling it on for parts. But you know, the more I stripped it down, the more I realise just how good this particular engine is. Take the gears for instance. The crown gear, not a mark on them. Inside the actual gear housing itself, it's spotless, no corrosion whatsoever. I'll be honest with you, I don't think this machine has ever run in salt water. And it is fitted with a Bing carb. Now, I don't know a lot about these, but I've stripped it down and had a look at it because there's quite a good diagram on saving old seagulls. I think I've mentioned that in one of my previous videos. And he has got some good diagrams on there, so I've rebuilt it with that diagram. It's in good condition. A chrome drive leg, which has actually got 99% of the chrome still on it in good nick. Look, turn it round. It's exactly the same. The reason I've got it all stripped down was I was going to part it out, but no, the more I strip it, the more I'm tempted to put it back together and sell it as a fully working unit. On the piston itself, we've got hardly any carbon build-up again. I honestly don't believe this has run more than a few hours in its life. This flywheel, as you can see, I've painted this. I've just finished spraying it now, and I've put a few coats of lacquer on it, but there's no corrosion on it, there's just no paint on it. And the inside of it, well, the inside of it, there again, the paint is perfect. That's the original Seagull painting though. I'll tell you what, I've just finished making a video about putting a Seagull back together again. I'll do a short one of this one. I'll cut it up quite a bit, just show you the salient points, and then we'll start it. Cylinder fitted to the crankcase. Just bolt it all up now. It would be a crime. It would be a crime to, in my opinion anyway, to break this up for parts. And then I may keep it, I may not. I keep telling the wife I'm going to get another boat, but all I keep getting offered is a hole in the water that costs a fortune to keep filling. It got lodged in the plug and stopped the thing from working. Cylinder head just on the edge. Come on. Let me just double check that there's none gone inside, and there's not. That's good. Okay, back on with these now. I got a question actually off I think it was a gentleman called Shelley about these bolts here, rounded off and they couldn't move them. The problem with that, you've two ways of doing it. Depending on the age of the machine, one of them I would not advise, but I've actually welded another stud onto these. Make sure that it's shielded all round here, like, you know, but I've actually welded another stud onto them and then used that to get them out. That was reasonably successful. It was a reason. It was a, I wouldn't say a young machine, but it wasn't an old one. If you've got an old machine, the probability is that the reason it's rounded off is that the studs are corroded solid into the block. That being the case, if you've got to take the head off, the only way you can get it off is to centre pop each of these exactly in the middle. You've got to be spot on with it. You can take the actual cylinder off, and you then need a pillar drill. Centre pop them exactly in the middle, and then drill down starting with the 1/8 and then slowly work it up. Don't drill into the block, just try to drill that head off. You get down to about 3/8 of an inch, 9/16, which is about 8 or 9 milli. And once you get down to that, you'll find out that the edge will come off. Now once that's happened, you can then lift that off. You've got enough left on that then to get a good pair of mole grips, or if not mole grips, small Stilsons onto that stud. If that doesn't shift it, if that does not shift that bolt, the only way you're going to do it then is to actually cut them flush to the cylinder, and then having cut them flush to the cylinder, you've got to centre pop them exactly, and then you've got to drill them out and retap them. I have done that. It's a rather time consuming thing to do, and if you're not very accurate you can make a balls of it. So that's the only advice I can give you, Shelley. I'm sorry, mate. Apart from that, I don't know how you're going to get them bolts out. Right, what I suggest that you do before you put the white pack plate on is just put a small pencil mark exactly where the locating hole is. Otherwise, once you get it on, you can actually lose position. Find the centre of the mark up with the centre of the screw, like so. We're not far out at that, and then let's just see if I have located. I should have done. Seems to be something inside there. Oh, it's only a bit of oil. That's okay. Right, now then, get the hammer, little hammer, and just tap it. Yeah, I've got it. Let me just make sure them points are okay. You know, the more I'm looking into this, the more I'm going to be inclined to keep it rather than sell it. I think I'm seriously thinking of that. Yeah, it'll be a handsome little motor, that. Put the exhaust pipe on as well, like so, and on we go with this. Okay, 2 nuts, 2 spring washers. Right, bronze with bronze star washers. And there we go. Now I've just connected up the water cooling pipe. It goes down to the pump housing at the bottom, and just locking that off. You may wonder what this is for. Actually what it's for is this nut here. If when you're doing it, it slips down to the bottom of this shaft, it's a right bugger to get back up again, so that stops it from dropping. It just makes it easier to do the job. It's very, very simple. All that you do is just introduce that in there. There's a small, I'm not saying small, there's a bronze spacer washer here. Well, it's not a spacer, it's I'll show you what it does in a minute. I'm lining the 2 holes up. I don't know if you can see or not, but there's a hole in the shaft and a hole there, and what it does is it takes a roll pin, 1 roll pin, pin punch, always handy to have. There you go. The fill hole goes to the top, it's upwards. Now, as I said, on these two screws, one of them has a point and one of them is flat. The flat one goes to the bottom. The pointed one goes to the top. It provides a dual purpose. It holds this back plate on, this back section on. It also holds the bearing in place inside. There's a notch in the bronze bearing that the pinion shaft runs through, and that locates in the notch. Just stops it from, sometime in the future maybe, from turning or riding up. That's what it's for. The gearbox is relatively straightforward. First of all, this is the drive shaft, and onto the drive shaft you've got to fit the impeller, the actual water pump impeller. I don't know if you can see or not, but you've got a rounded section there. Let's see. Right, that goes to the top, that goes in that direction. Next, this goes on the gearbox, and as you can see, straightforward again. Just make sure that you get it lined up on the shaft of the trunnion. Yeah, there you go. And then I will just go and find all the screws, and we will get that really tight. If I keep this machine, which I'm being more and more inclined towards doing, the probability is I'm never going to take this off again, not in my lifetime anyway. I think the machine will outlive me. In fact, I'm certain it will, because there's a lot of good use left in this machine. That is now the petrol tank and the carb fitted. I'm just going to fill the gearbox up with oil, and then when I've done that, I'm going to take it outside and see if we can't get it to start. The carb is fitted, quite straightforward. I've put a new accelerator cable on because the old one was shotter, but I was right about it. It is a handsome little machine. Once again I've got wet shoes, but that started first time, and I'm really happy I didn't break it up.